All right. Okay. Yeah, you know, right? All you get today is this. Now, I'm going to do a driving while Atlanta how I'm supposed to do it, how I want to do it, which is to literally drive Atlanta and just talk to you about what I'm looking at. And at some point in time, I'm going to switch the camera around, but I decided, man, let me just go ahead and let me edit it afterwards because I got shit to say and that's what it is. So I'm on day 5 of Paxlovid. Got the COVID, man. Went in Thursday morning, like, yo, I end up at the Minute Clinic at CVS on Highland, and they didn't have no availabilities, but I was just like, so where am I going next? And I went because I'm not a cougher, and the night before I developed this cough, and I'm like, I'm a sinus person, allergies, anything with asthma in that. So that's usually, drainage, stuff from the head. And so maybe a day before I was kind of feeling some pressure, whatever. But this is the first day I've been out, right? Since I got the diagnosis. But I'm gonna tell you what the sign for me, and I hope for you. I'm gonna put this sign out for you so you can know, right? So my sign was the main one, the one that did it for me. I woke up in the middle of the night. I had taken a cough suppressant. So number one, I'm taking a cough suppressant, but that's not it really. And I could barely move. I could move a little bit, but I couldn't figure out what part of the bed I was on. And I needed to cough, and I didn't even have enough strength to do a full cough. And what ended up happening was just like phlegm came out, and it was white, and it was thick, and it came out again. I was like, and when I tried to get up, I thought I was in a part of the bed when I went to sleep. I was not in that part of the bed when I woke up, and I couldn't figure out where I was. I was disoriented, but I felt that cough. It was thick, and I've had COVID before. I had COVID in May 2021, and that one was quick. It was very deep. Everything was infected. Even this time it was infected, but it was like drawn out. So I went in and I did the test, and honestly, I was upset. But I was upset because I'm gonna pull it down a little bit. I was upset because, I'm like, dang, man, I almost made it a year. I made it a year. I thought I had made it a year without a sinus infection. I'm like, oh man, I've taken such good care of myself. I take all my meds. I do all this sinus washing. But there I am, sick again. And I'm feeling it, feeling the sadness, feeling the disappointment. So when the test came back positive, I was relieved. Because it wasn't me. It was me in a different way, but it wasn't me in this organic, chronically ill, never made for society kind of way. So right now in Atlanta it's raining. I think it started raining somewhere in the middle of the morning. One of the things I can tell you about COVID, and I'm gonna tell you about Paxlovid, that's what they gave me. They gave me on it, and I think the question was you don't want you to get long COVID, and you have asthma, and there's all the stuff but the one that really hit me quick, you don't have to drink water. This thing, you got to drown yourself with water, dog. Not apple juice, not orange juice, no vitamin C, all that. No. Pure water. I have a Brita filter, so I just kept putting water in, and you can feel it. You can taste its sourness. This is pure science, just coming up with stuff, throwing everything in there. It's 2 pills, 1 thing, and then another pill. You got to take it 5 days, morning and night. I got my first dose at like 11 o'clock. I was like, nah, I'm taking this now in the morning. And then I've been doing, every 12 hours since then. I took one just a while ago at 11. I try not to take it too early because then you got to keep the early thing back and back. I try to keep the schedule no earlier than 9, definitely no later than 11 with these kind of meds. I'm trying to find a Starbucks, man. I was up all night. So 2 of the things that happened for me, and it was a real shift. My medications, a number of my medications interact with Paxlovid. So I wasn't able to take my Advil, which is what I've always taken my Advil twice a day. I could only take 1 puff in the morning, 1 puff at night. And I couldn't take Latuda, which is, that one was worse. Like, you can't take Latuda at all. Latuda is one of the like 2 or 3 approved medications for bipolar disorder, bipolar 1. And for me, it makes me sleep. It like tinkers that down. So there's a couple of them out there, and the first one I ever took, I don't know, was Zyprexa, and that's where my weight gain started. That's where it started. And after that, I was on the Abilify. After that, I was, they put me on Zyprexa again. They tried all kinds of stuff with me. I'm talking about the manic stuff, not the mood stabilizers. Trying to decide which Starbucks to go to, man, right now. I don't really want to go. I want to go up 85, man. I'm end up going up 85 I don't want to go up 85 because it's close to home or close to work, and this makes me feel sad. I can't go to work. I'm not supposed to have a meeting with my friends, my colleagues. I was already double booked, but can't do anything, right? I had to cancel class Thursday, and I could barely cancel class. I was so delirious. It's not delirious that it was extreme fatigue. So it took me a while to figure out what happened. Like, now the reality is, on Wednesday night, the night before, I had gone to physical therapy. So I had been out, so I was like, okay, was it like, wait a minute, Wednesday, it wouldn't have caught that quick for Wednesday. Like, I wouldn't have experienced the symptoms until Thursday morning, and I experienced them hardcore Wednesday afternoon. I went to Walmart, and the tale was I was about to go to the Publix, and I was like, I am so cold, yo. Like, I'm cold in my bones. And so I went back home to pick up my body warmers and put them under, like, just period. I don't even put them under anything. I just wear them as an outfit. Anyone who's seen me around of late knows this. I wear body warmers as a regular outfit, and I understand all of the implications of that when it comes to style and professionalism, and I don't care. It's raining out here, dog. You gotta watch these streets. I mean, in Atlanta, you got options when it comes to Starbucks. I like to drive through. with a thing that goes over the window. I mean, honestly, the one that's best right now is Spring Street. It has a really long curve, but whatever. I'm trying to think about it, but I can't think about it too much. You just do what you got to do when you do it. It's easiest to do when you're working with little brain power to do stuff, and I don't have all my brain power. So I'm 5 days in, I'm 2 days, 7, I got 3 more days. I'm gonna have my whole class virtually on this Thursday. I can't take a chance. And you can still feel it and hear it, so I don't have any, I have no, it's hard to do class hybrid. I don't like it. I would like to be in person, although I understand all of that. But that's the COVID experience, and I'm sure there's more in there, but that's what it is for me. I'm headed up to Starbucks because I feel like I finally figured out how to write a grant, maybe. Like, people ask me for so much paper. I'm like, I don't know what all this paperwork is. And the only real like example of anything that's like that I've done before is my fellowships from like undergrad, right? And I've applied for stuff, but I don't really get beyond the letter of intent. I've gotten one for, request for a full proposal, and I just couldn't bring it home twice. This one is kind of in that vein, and I'm just like, I gotta bring it home. And I'm shook, I'm shook. But I won't get into the project. Hopefully it will get funded. Either way, you will see this stuff before too soon. But hopefully this part of it gets funded. This extension of it gets funded. And because I'm so nervous and so like, it's not just nervous, anxious, self-conscious, insensitive, insecure. It's hard for me to write. It's hard for me to sit down. And when I am writing, I'm like, it's just like very incoherent things are coming out of my mouth. Except something was coherent about this, right? So, but I got to figure out what it is. And so I have to go back and read it. And so one of the things I do, I stop. Don't do this, all right? But my approach to writing has been to write my voice, and then go back and edit it into the style that other people want. And I'm not sitting there telling you that it works, that it's good. I'm just saying that that's how I've written. I used to write when I first started writing. I used to write on the formula method, and I just couldn't write. And I would end up having to have someone come in, and I did my first paper that got published on my own. I had to go have someone come in after 6 rounds of rejection and like basically rewrite my front end. I'm just like, man, let me just write what I want to write, and then we revise it later. So I had a professor, love her. I write the worst first drafts, but my second draft, I was like, I'm gonna do that. I got my first draft is raw, but my first draft isn't raw. It's just not conventional. And my first draft takes me a long time to write because I mean every word I say. I don't put things in there that I don't mean. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm like, I don't want anything in there that I don't mean, because then I have to edit it out. So I'd rather be small and expand into like, have to add things afterwards to correct something, right? But in this case, I have to read a bunch of stuff. I am not a expert in the field. I have been around a lot of people who say things that are wild, but I am myself not an expert in this field, so I am learning. I'm becoming. This is truly an interdisciplinary project, and I do believe as an interdisciplinary researcher, you have a responsibility to be an expert in every discipline, and that is a tall order. But you don't have. I think it's really irresponsible as an interdisciplinary scholar to say, I can do this but not that. You have to try. I'm not saying you're going to do it well. I'm saying you have to try and then pick up the pieces as you try to revise things, and then understand the audiences that you're speaking to. So I figured out in my review what the audience was, and I was like, okay, they're not the audience that I was prepping for, and so I know my audience, and so now I have to go back and answer their questions, and then I'll figure out where to end. But the problem right now is the structural problems, as in it's a grant, this is a full grant, people have to work for you. This is not you for applying for a fellowship. You have organizational letters, you have a grant budget, all this stuff that I have no idea how to do. I don't know nothing. Oh man. Oh, dude. Last night I figured something out though. It took me about 3-4 in the morning. The first thing I figured, it was really the scariest thing was the budget. And the difference between the budget from the university, the budget worksheet from the university, and the budget for the organization that I'm submitting a proposal for. I didn't really understand, at the end they have to be perfect. If you're doing the numbers right, they need to be perfect. And the first thing I learned is that the number that I suggested as my proposed budget, my proposed grant budget did not include indirects. And that, whoa, once I realized that, I was like, whoo, we gotta take all kinds of stuff out of this thing, and that's the point, right? The second thing that was really important, and it's so important for me because this is what I am building my life, the rest of my life on, is what is the Critical Racism Data Lab and what can it do? And the reality is the Critical Racism Data Lab is a training spot. It's a training site. It's a learning space. And it's geared on learning across multiple levels of proficiency. There we go. With the interest of the subject matter being where we're meeting. And that's not hard to do, but when I was trying to figure out the budget, I realized, I actually have been doing this for 7 years now. I just never had any money to do it, which is I engage undergraduate researchers, master's students, postdocs, professional students, everyone. I engage everyone, but the closest that has come to compensation is course credit, certification, and like if someone needs like an audit for a course, or they need to have lab experience, so I'll stand in for that. All of that is through the Race and Policing Project. So that model is very well played out in that space. The Critical Racism Data Lab, what does it do? How is it different? And the project that I'm working on is on policing. So it feels reasonable to just kind of extend it out of that, but the Critical Racism Data Lab is different, and this is not just about policing. It's more than that. But the grant can't hold all that. The grant can't hold all that the Critical Racism Data Lab has. So what I'm framing it as is a home for multidisciplinary, dual learners. I don't know if that's the word, but the is inner. Career, they start, if you look at the grant world, they start thinking about these as careers, multi-careers. Dude, turn on your side of the road. Anyways, I'm rolling up at the Starbucks. It's 18 minutes. That's what it's good today. I'm getting my Starbucks. I'm not going to get the extra shot of espresso because it's not that deep. But I am getting the bagel. Sorry. I dropped to 177 pounds. I wasn't eating. I couldn't eat. And I learned you need some food, but not a lot. We'll see. Hello? Not there yet.
Hey there, what can I get for you today?
Hey, how you doing? Can I get a caramel latte with oat milk?
Sorry, can you repeat that for me?
Can I get a caramel? I want, it's like a caramel frappuccino but hot with oat milk. I don't even know what it's called no more.
Anything else?
And then can I get what kind? Y'all got an everything bagel?
Everything bagel? Let me see. Do we have an everything bagel? Alright, we do have the everything bagel. Anything else?
Alright, with the butter and heated and toasted. That's it. Thank you.
Alright, I'll see you.
Awesome. Oh, did I tell you what? Okay, we'll find out. That's me.